Well, all right, you're listening to CKUA, and the program is Alberta Morning. My name is Grant, and I am thrilled to be joined by a longtime CKUA favorite whose latest record we just sampled, an Alberta expat to boot. Rae Spoon is the artist behind a brilliant new album called Not Dead Yet, largely drawn from experiences from their recent health journey, which involved a life-threatening cancer situation and a year in hospital. Not Dead Yet is out now on a label that Rae founded some years ago, Coax Records, and I'm thrilled to say that Rae Spoon joins us on the air right now. Rae, it is so awesome to have you back with us here on CKUA. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I got to ask you that this situation, of course, that largely inspired the songs on this record began at the very moment that was sort of a fork in the road for many people, and that was March of 2020. Can you take us back and share with us how all that began for you?
Yeah, I did some tests before I came out to Alberta to play some shows, and yeah, basically the last show I played was in Calgary. I was touring with Kim Barlow and Mohammed Sari. They're both from Nova Scotia, so we decided, it was like the world stopping thing. So we just stopped our tour. They flew back to Nova Scotia. I flew back to Victoria, and yeah, I think it was within 2 or 3 days I got a call from my doctor saying that I had cancer. It was quite a quick turnaround. So I ended up at the cancer center and doing all this stuff and doing treatment through the spring. And then I thought it was gone, but it wasn't actually gone. I actually tried to move to Toronto. I drove there and I had to drive back, and then I had a surgery. And then the cancer was gone, but there was a lot of complications that happened to my health after. So I ended up spending a year and 2 months straight in the hospital, starting like January 2021. Just like multiple complications. I went to ICU like 3 times. It was a lot of the time not sure which way it was going to go, like if I was going to live or not. So yeah, and then I kind of had like a final surgery. I had four surgeries, and the last one seemed to do the trick for now. And then I made the album, and I thought, well, I should go to Alberta because it would feel weird to release an album and not play shows. So yeah, I came back and played four shows there like in the last couple weeks, and that's just kind of how it's been going.
It's incredible, Rae. And I had the great pleasure of being at one of those shows. You were all up and down this province from Lethbridge to Grand Prairie. I was at the Edmonton show. It was amazing. And these songs are, I mean, this is such a serious and a big and a weighty subject, but these songs are, I don't know, you've really run the gamut over the course of your musical career from acoustic, country folk to electronic dance music. This is a big pop record. How did you know that this album needed to be a pop music record?
I once wrote an album called "I Can't Keep All of Our Secrets," and it was about grief, and so I made that a pop, like a electronic dance kind of album. So just from that experience, I love writing songs about difficult things, but I find it's a lot easier to play it live if it's a little bit peppier. So I decided maybe this one wasn't going to be like a folk album or even a country album, because can you imagine how sad it would be combined? And the whole thing is that the whole time I was sick and when I was getting treatment and when I was in the hospital, I was still living my life, and there's always joy in every day. I feel like I'm in overtime now, so that renewal. So I wanted that joy to be a part of it. I accessed a lot of like the feeling of gospel music, I guess. So
Hmm.
it's kind of how I started singing. And so I kind of accessed that too, because I think there's such a way you can have the sort of celebration and the heaviness and the joy, all of those things at once. So that's when I decided it was going to be a pop album.
There's so many different complexities and amazing perspectives on this record. There's a song called Shake, 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 which has this super catchy sing along chorus. But of course, its lyrics unpack some extremely complex ideas. Can you tell us a little bit about the experiences that led you to write that particular tune?
Well, it was kind of a double thing. One was cancer treatment and the idea of cancer and how that affects your life. And cancer is such a big word. It's a big word because if you say cancer to pretty much anyone, they'll have some sort of experience with it themselves, someone they're close to, someone they knew, with varying outcomes. And it's like, it's known as a very difficult thing and something that's very feared, and then these battle narratives and stuff like that. So I was just like a little bit asking questions about that, maybe making a theme song for some folks who have cancer journeys, and then also just being trans, non-binary in the healthcare system. Of course, there's a lot more awareness of how to treat folks like myself with respect out in the world, and so it was difficult at first to, yeah, just to show how important that was to healthcare professionals, and then over time I got to know a lot of them and they got to know me, and very few people were doing it to be hurtful. But yeah, I kind of put some of that into the song too. That it's good to have some anger and then some hope. And so in that song, I definitely approached that. And yeah, hopefully it makes it a little bit easier for people who come after me.
Rae, whenever I hear the last section of Shake, 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 where you talk about, yearning to reconnect, like with music and with the road and the stage and with audiences and people, it's really powerful. I'm moved every time. And I recently had the opportunity to catch you performing on stage during your late August album release tour that brought you back here to your old home province of Calgary. How does it feel to be back on the highway and, like back in the glow of the stage lights and everything?
Actually, that last part of the song I think I wrote it in the hospital, and I didn't know if I was ever gonna play shows again, or, getting to play it live is unreal. To get to like sing that live, I think we're always writing messages to ourselves from the past and the future, I think. So yeah, definitely. It was just such an experience to get to sing that and actually look at people I've known for a long time and get to do what I've been doing for a long time. And especially there was a lot more, I'm immunocompromised, so I only perform outside, and I wanted all the shows to be accessible for immunocompromised folks. All of the venues and the festivals made space for that and helped. So seeing that come together where I can come as a disabled artist who's immunocompromised and still play music in an environment that's accessible for people like me, it was just like a lot of things coming together. Yeah, it just made me very, very happy.
Well, it's incredibly joyful. I mean, it challenges us, but it's ultimately so uplifting, this record. And I feel like every song is so crucial in this suite of tunes. I'd love to spin one. Just before we say so long, I wonder if I could ask you about this song called Open Heart, which really feels like a crucial moment on the record. You share some really amazing perspectives and insights in the lyrics of this song. Where were you coming from when you composed this one?
I guess I talked a little bit before about my long stay in the hospital. It was like a year and 2 months straight. It was like a year and 6 months in and out in the same hospital in Victoria. And not many of my nurses seem to know have worked with trans folks, and I was in some gendered wards, so that was very confusing for everybody. And I guess what I realized is that people's minds change through their hearts. And so the more I got to know the folks that were working with me, and the more they got to know me, they started to become allies, and they would be like, do you want us to come to another department with you? They would like be taking time out of their schedules to be allies and to, yeah, just like let other folks know that they should try to respect my pronouns and not gender things. Yeah, so it was very much about that process, but also, yeah, just being trans and out for so long and just seeing the world change and hoping that, seeing what happens when people love someone who's trans, and then how they feel about people's rights and their right to exist and access healthcare. All of that kind of put together into a song that could sound very cheesy, but if since I think the verses definitely balance it out, because it would be
Yeah.
strange if it was just, maybe I'm accessing my early Christian contemporary music roots if it was just the chorus, but
Yes, it's undercut nicely by the very reality check nature of the verses, to be sure. And Rae, congratulations on so many levels on this incredible new record, and thank you for this music, and thanks for keeping an open heart and sharing all of this with us.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's great to talk to you again. I know it's been many years since we first met. I think we met in 2004 at the Calgary Folk Fest, but we might have met earlier. So, but yeah, I'm just really happy for all the work you've been doing over the years.
Wow, I need to keep you around for a research assistant. I think you're right. That's amazing. Thank you, Rae. And happy trails out there. I know you got a bunch more dates yet to go. Thanks for sharing this extremely thought-provoking and affirming new album with us. Really appreciate this. Not Dead Yet is out now via Coax Records. You can check it out and pick it up via Rae Spoon's Bandcamp page. And here's a little taste of it right now on CKUA. This is Rae Spoon and Open Heart.